Hello, my name is Ben.
And I'm Andrew.
And we are the hosts this week of the Too Vague podcast. And our word is the word evolution. Do you say evolution or do you say evolution?
Well, it depends on how annoying I want to be, I think.
Which do you think is more annoying?
Well, I think evolution could be more annoying because I'm pretty sure I'd be annoyed with somebody when I was saying it. So
right.
I think I'm trying to reflect that annoyance back at them.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? Speaking of kind of evolution and annoyance, when I say Neanderthal and someone says it's Neanderthal to me, it's like, yeah, I know what it is. Did you understand what I meant? Yes? Okay. I'm going to still say Neanderthal. Sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. Well, is it pronounced, the Spanish tiny food, is it pronounced tapas or tapas?
Oh, boy. I always called it tapas.
I know, but the British feel like they should call it tapas.
Oh, tapas.
You watch the British sitcoms.
Yeah, the tapas.
There was an episode of the IT Crowd where, they were going to tapas.
Yeah.
And one of them was like, isn't it pronounced tapas? Like, no.
It's pronounced neither of those ways.
You guys think it's chimichanga, don't you?
Yep.
So they're wrong.
No. Yeah.
Anyway, so you can say Neanderthal. It's not as annoying as tapas.
Tapas. Yeah. If I say evolution, what is the first thing that you think of, Andrew?
I think of people being scared to teach actual science in schools.
Oh, yeah. Is this okay? So is this something that you have a experience with as a teacher? That have you had to contend with that as far as students or parents? Or
no, I mostly read about it in the news from other places.
Right.
I think
you're talking about like creationism,
or what's that other thing? Intelligent design people.
Right.
I'm like, well. If there was intelligent design, it sure took a long time. That's
right.
I mean, you can't knock the design except for, lower back pain and
right. Exactly. Jesus. Listen, when I go to bed and I've done nothing all day, right? And I wake up in the morning with some athletic type injury. There's got to be something wrong with that design.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
I don't know. Or maybe we're just we're designed perfectly to go for about 40 years.
Uh-huh.
And then
after that,
then
all bets are off. The warranty.
The warranty's shot.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. And
so it's like, it's all golden time after that.
Yeah, everything after that is gravy.
It's all gravy.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, maybe we are perfectly intelligently designed to not get as old as we do.
Yeah.
And then we're, then we got bonus time. I don't know.
I don't agree with any of this stuff. Science still is, important.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well.
Right. I don't,
I realized I was making an argument for intelligent design, but.
but for the sake of comedy?
For the sake of comedy, I feel like it's more like, planned obsolescence. Like, right. You got to trade this body in for a new one after 40 years.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
No.
I don't think the creationists think you can trade your body in for another one. I mean, that's maybe the Hindus.
It seems just as absurd.
I don't know. What do the Mormons think?
I don't know.
This is not evolution. This is religion. How'd you get me down this?
I don't know. This rabbit hole. Basically, it's my gift. It's my ability. Okay.
To get me down rabbit holes. Yeah.
Yep.
And I decided let's go with the most controversial stance first. Get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way. Get it right out of the way.
Right out of the
way. And that's the thing, too. It's like, it's not just like you are preparatory sort of education, right? Like, younger grades. Right?
Yeah, like primary grades. Yeah. Elementary.
Right.
That stuff.
Elementary school. And
yeah.
so it's even in college. I mean, like Pima, a buddy of mine went to a Pima class, and this person was a creationist and teaching. It doesn't make any sense to me, but you know.
Yeah, it's hard.
Life is hard. Life is hard.
It's really hard to have to figure out how to deal with those people. Those people. That's a really good phrase in my vocabulary. Let's talk about those people. But it's true. Like, I'm a guy who, at the tender age of, I don't know, 5 or 6, was exposed by PBS to Carl Sagan's Nova series Cosmos.
Yeah.
So like that, I remember that. And he's got his little, his little calendar of cosmic time, and he's stepping on the little things. And then he's got the one episode where it talks about evolution. And I remember the cool little illustration of the single-celled organism just like evolving into multi-celled, and then a plant-like thing, and then some kind of branching off. And there's like a little thing that turns into something with a spinal cord, and then it becomes a worm, or whatever. The worm goes another direction, and then there's something that grows legs or becomes a fish, and then the fish grows legs, and then it becomes a dinosaur. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Right. And I remember my mom, I think my mom wasn't ready to talk to me about evolution then. But it didn't matter.
Is there a time to talk about evolution with your children? When did you talk about evolution with your children?
Let's see. When did I talk evolution with Star? Probably like every day since birth. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's, science.
I've always been like a science positive person.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like science.
I do too.
I mean, there's not everything. What are you talking about? Robert Oppenheimer was kind of sad about some stuff that his science led to. Right. But at the same time, Velcro.
Okay.
Yeah, Velcro.
Right. Well,
we use Velcro in our everyday lives, and we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for the space program.
Right. How do you make things stick to stuff that you need your electrics functioning properly? How do you do that?
You can't use magnets.
No,
because that's going to mess with the electrics.
Yeah.
Even though the Apollo, the Apollo program, they didn't have a magnetic, storage medium for the memory on the computer. Yeah. Did they? No, they did. Yeah, it was magnetic because it was magnets tied into a rope.
Really?
Yes. Because,
I gotta look this up.
Because they knew that the punch cards weren't going to work in zero gravity. So they braided a rope with magnets spaced out for the different zeros and ones in the code. Yeah. And it created this thing called rope memory.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because
punch cards.
Because punch cards were the previous version for storing data for computer programs, and that was not going to work in zero gravity.
Right. Huh.
And they needed to get those guys back alive, so they
invented something involving magnets.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, but later on they'd use magnets to make floppy disks that were smaller.
Right.
And now we don't even do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, my mom went to. That's where my mom met my father. Was Key Punch school. She went to Key Punch school to make those cards.
Wow.
And then, they met, and I was born, and
And look at how computers have evolved since then.
I remember when my father would take home. He had this a machine that he would connect to the University of Chicago to do his studies for his master's in business. And he would use the telephone line and would have a cuff that you put the handset on it. And it was basically sort of like, an old fashioned fax machine or something where it would detect the signals being sent, but it was printing stuff on paper. So you use a paper roll. You were talking about nerd stuff. Yeah. One of the first things I did, probably the first gaming thing, this is getting into games, but it was like an adventure game, I think Colossal Cave Adventure. It was text-based. You would walk around a cave system and see things and, monsters and whatnot. And I was so fascinated with this that I just took it to kindergarten and, for my show and tell, it's like, this is a game I played, and then this roll of paper on the floor, just kind of like, see, this is so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Neat.
Yeah.
They're like, what is neat. That?
Yeah.
They're like,
it's a computer.
Yeah, that's back when we didn't know what computers were.
Well, I mean, I only knew a computer because my father would take me to his work, and they had, the disc packs that they put on the top, and the reel-to-reel stuff, and the punch card things.
Yeah.
He was an early programmer and wrote programs in some sort of language that probably was invented well before I was born. But
yeah,
evolution,
yeah, evolution.
Yeah, that sounds like an evil genius word.
Yeah. I think that's why I think it's annoying to say evolution.
You're saying it like Skeletor.
I'll get you, He-Man, if it's the last thing I ever do.
Yeah. Evolution.
Okay, so evolution.
What I was going to say was, when I think of evolution, my first thought turns to the movie Evolution. Did you ever see that movie? 2001. It was Julianne Moore, David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, Sean William Scott.
Oh, I remember seeing the poster.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the movie. Yeah.
Okay. It had like a great soundtrack band that no one's ever heard of called Self. Their biggest song, I think, was like Truck Full of Amps. Got a trunk full of amps, motherfucker. It is better than it actually sounds. This song, Out With a Bang, that was at the end of Evolution, was a great song, and it never got released because they were on DreamWorks record label, and they went under before the album got released. So it was really tricky to find, but 15, 20 years later, they eventually put it out. But anyway, let's get back to the movie.
Okay. The movie, yeah. So it was a movie about a song that was better than it sounds.
No, that wasn't the movie. The movie, Ivan Reitman directed it, and it was people accused him of trying to make a new Ghostbusters. That's basically what they said. But clearly they didn't watch the movie because it was sort of a buddy pick. It was definitely not Ghostbusters. It had a lot of good humor in it. It was based on a story written by a gentleman named Don Jacoby, who wrote it as a serious sci-fi horror movie. But then Ivan Reitman gave it to a couple of writers, David Diamond and David Wiseman. And they rewrote it as a comedy and then passed it back to this Don Jacoby. And he's like, oh, yeah, this is great. Let's do this one. It did okay. It made its money back. The whole premise of the movie. I'm not letting you get a word in here.
Okay. I'm like, what happened with this?
The movie. Like,
what's this? I'm like, I don't know who Don Jacoby is, but
yeah. Well, it's just
Yeah, no, it's okay. I hope he got paid.
He definitely did get paid. and the premise of the movie is this guy who used to be a colonel, a very smart guy. He and his buddy find this asteroid that comes to Earth, and it's got all these things on it, and it's like life that is evolving in a cave system at a really rapid rate. And then the government kind of intervenes and closes it off, and these things start escaping through various routes. But whenever they get outside of the atmosphere that the asteroid created in this cave system, they die until eventually they evolve. And they do it at such a quick rate. They split.
It's the Delta variant,
right? Let's put the harsh sting of reality right there.
Current events, folks. If you want to talk about evolution, the Delta variant. I don't know. And maybe that's why some people still refuse to wear masks.
The hero of this story is the element selenium and a truckload of shampoo.
What?
I like it. This is a funny movie. there are comparisons that you can draw to Ghostbusters, but it's definitely not Ghostbusters, and it's got some good comedy.
Yeah.
In it. So check out Evolution. Yep.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of The Faculty. Jon Stewart's motion picture.
Yeah.
Well, he was in it, and I think Elijah Wood. Jon Stewart played one of the faculty. Mm-hmm. And it was alien invasion kind of thing where they take over a high school. And,
right.
And the hero of the story is powdered caffeine.
See? Exactly. Like, really? That's the hero of the story?
The hero of the story. Element selenium. It's like, it's kind of like, it sounds like they try to remake Andromeda Strain, but try to make it less like Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Right. And we definitely don't want any Folgers crystals in this. Did you ever get into, speaking of evolution and the opposite of evolution, were you ever a fan of the band Devo?
Devo?
Yes.
Oh man, I wore the wrong shirt.
No, the Tron shirt is definitely...
Tron shirt's good, but I've got this other cool shirt that by this artist guy, Jeff Braun, who, it would have been perfect for this if I had only known. It's like a Planet of the Apes chimp with a Devo hat and the words "Are we not men?" on it.
Nice.
Yeah. That would have gone perfectly with it. I should have brought. I have it in my suitcase. I'll run back.
Should we
I'm
put
take
an
hour break so I can run back to my parents' house, get this T-shirt, come back here, so that our podcaster viewers can see it.
That's the way it works.
Is the video feed live?
No, we don't have the satellite quite there.
Never mind.
I was going to say, I don't think your lovely wife would appreciate that.
She would stay home. She'd be like, if you're leaving again, I'll just hang out with your parents.
She's like going, I don't know why I didn't stay home for this in general. Two nerds talking about nerd stuff.
Devo, I think they're cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Devo when I was younger, and I didn't understand them. All I knew was it was interesting. It was unique. They were different. The synthesizer sounds were interesting to me. I think I saw them on American Bandstand, and they were promoting Freedom of Choice, which was the album that Whip It was on. And they were interviewed by Dick Clark. Yeah. They were interviewed after they did a song, and Dick Clark says to them, so where do you get your ideas for your songs? Are they from dreams? And Mark Mothersbaugh said, de-evolution is not a dream, it's a nightmare. And then he kind of... and then Dick Clark was like, okay, next up, just cut to commercial. Yeah, cut to commercial really quick. It was my first introduction to Devo and their music. And then I got into all the other historical stuff with Devo and all their albums. And I mean, I don't know if you have anything more you want to talk about evolution in the general context.
In the general context,
like anything that's evolved over your lifetime.
Anything that's evolved over my lifetime.
Do you think of it in terms of attitudes evolving?
Attitudes evolving. Well, I would say, the attitudes evolve, but I'm not sure.
Do they evolve? Is adapting a part of evolving?
Adapting is part of evolving. There's something else going on. I don't know. There's some things that just seem too cyclical,
Yeah.
Like there's like this, well, we're going to go progressive this way for a while, and then we're going to, swing it all the way back. Evolution, it's easier to track it in things, I think, rather than like the intangible stuff like about attitudes and...
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because let's see. I want to bring it to... There's this really cool documentary that just came out.
Okay.
By a guy, you might have heard of him. His name's Questlove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No,
I know Questlove.
You know Questlove, of course.
Not personally.
I thought,
but,
you hang out at the safe house sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. No, he did a new documentary called Summer of Soul, and it's about the Harlem Cultural Festival that happened in 1969, same summer as Woodstock. It was over several weeks, but it was a series of free concerts in the park in Harlem where basically every big name in black music that they could get, played there. Like, Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
And Nina Simone and the Age of Aquarius people.
Fifth Dimension?
Fifth Dimension. That's who I was thinking. You know, the movie where Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Jesus.
No, that was a callback to the other episode. Gosh. It happens to all of us. But anyway, my point was Bruce Willis was not at this festival.
He wasn't?
No.
How do you know for sure?
Well,
he wasn't in the footage.
You know what? I think there was like a deleted scene from the 12 Monkeys where maybe he was.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, that's the 12 Monkeys. The 12 Monkeys.
Right.
That's a different movie. Okay. No. So back to this. What I'm saying is like, it was this really great, powerful Black cultural experience that happened at that moment they were trying to move into more positivity after, a year before Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and RFK was assassinated, and Malcolm X a few years earlier, and all that, like all these forces for moving Black people forward. And you look at this footage was great. It was totally recorded. They were planning on doing either a TV special or a movie, but after it was over, Woodstock was the big concert film. Nobody wanted to touch this.
Huh.
And so it sat in a basement for 50 years until Questlove was able to put it together for this. And it's really amazing, but it's sort of like there's this cyclical thing where like every 50 years we really care about Black culture.
Right.
I don't know if it's really that. I mean, there was that sitcom with the guy that just got out of jail that was really popular in the 80s. And which made you feel like, oh, things are progressing. But then, I don't know, the CIA invented crack or something, and the Black community got gutted.
So what does this have to do with evolution?
I think evolution doesn't apply to social things very well. That's what I think.
That was the point.
I think as far as you get, then you get rolled back.
Right.
And I don't know.
So and things that are cyclic are by definition not evolving.
I don't know. I don't know if there's. I think it's a separate dynamic. Yeah. I think things can evolve, but there's.
You think they can evolve cyclically, where they just evolve to one thing and back to another,
or maybe the cyclical things happen, and out of them, other things evolve.
No.
Like, I don't know, if you talk about like the ice ages roll in and out, and then the animals and plants change to adapt to that, and then
right. Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe
but just see this. What is the name of the documentary again? Because I'm actually kind of interested.
It's called Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul.
And watching it is like you feel like, wow, this is a really powerful thing.
Right.
And that happened, and it was real. And then they interview people who went and saw it when they were kids.
Right.
And there's this one guy who's like, his quote was like, he was like tearing up watching the footage.
Oh wow.
And just sort of saying, it's like, yeah, I remember this. He like, I knew that this happened, but now I know. I always knew it had happened, but seeing this just brings it home how much it happened, like how important it was for them to feel like they had a big community of people like them represented and celebrated in the city of New York that way, where it isn't always like that. And, speaking from my place of privilege, I want everybody to give Questlove a lot of money or watch his movie and give him. I don't know.
Honestly, I think he's making a decent amount as it stands.
Probably.
He's like a band leader still.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? He's
of
the guy with the show.
Yeah, the guy with the show.
The new Carson. Nah, he's nobody's a new Carson.
Why can't I remember his name? Gosh darn it.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name?
Not Conan.
No, it's not Conan.
It's not Conan. Conan retired.
Right.
Officially.
Yeah.
Conan finally stopped not stopping.
Right.
I know. I see his face, and he's got a name.
Former Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, he was on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. What, can we just say we haven't watched the Tonight Show in a long time? Jay Leno, that's the guy.
No, it's not Jay Leno. It's not Jay Leno. You're just saying talk show hosts. No.
I'm saying everybody that hosted the Tonight Show except for Joan Rivers.
Arsenio Hall? No.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Dave Letterman.
Jack Parr.
not Jack Parr. No, it wasn't Jack Parr. That was pre Carson, yeah.
Jack Carson, yeah. With Alan King. No, and Alan King.
Anyway, it's still not coming. It's still
not coming. It's Jimmy something.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, yeah.
Dude, together we have solved the riddle.
Jimmy Fallon is proof that evolution isn't always a good thing.
I don't know where to start unpacking that. I don't. Okay.
If we're looking at the evolution of the Tonight Show.
Oh, okay. No, that's true. That's true. That's a good, yeah. So it went from Jack Parr, right, to Johnny Carson to Jay Leno, and then because they refused to give it to Conan O'Brien at some point.
No, first they didn't give it to Letterman,
and then Letterman said goodbye.
I'm going to go to another network, and in 30 years I'll grow a beard.
Right. And I'll be on Netflix. You don't even know what Netflix is, but I'll be on it.
I'll be on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jay Leno decided he'd be done, and then they let Conan have it for a few weeks, and nobody liked it.
No, I don't think nobody liked it. I think the problem it was they had Conan O'Brien had his thing. Right?
Yeah, Conan O'Brien had his thing, and they moved it. It didn't work earlier in the evening, and then Jay Leno still had a different show.
Jay Leno had some sort of variety show in the morning, right?
Yeah, something
it's
like that.
Something where he went and he did that, and instead of letting Conan O'Brien do his thing and get his footing, it's a different time slot. It's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, even David Letterman went through that when he went to CBS. There's some things that change in that time slot as far as material and what lands. Yeah, Conan O'Brien got the shaft in that deal because they said, oh, well, we'll just bring him right back. And, you know, it's like didn't even give him time to capture the audience, but he captured it elsewhere, and he got on with this thing, and now he's retired or whatever.
Yeah, so that's a circle of life.
Circle of life, Simba.
Yeah, is the Lion King about evolution?
No.
Okay, all right, fine.
It's about talking lions.
And all the animals doing a big Busby Berkeley dance number because that happens.
Definitely happens. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that happens. That's another podcast.
In fact, that's why I want to go to Africa.
You want to go to Africa?
Yeah, to see the big dance number.
The dance number.
Yeah,
to see if
it's going to be great.
I think things do change, but
that doesn't necessarily mean that's evolution, right?
But I do think like evolution sort of is, to me, maybe a haphazard process because it responds to so many different variables. Like we don't actually know, what is life going to respond to? All we know is that life finds a way.
Yeah, thank you for the Jeff Goldblum. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Life finds a way. Are you excited? Speaking of Jeff Goldblum, are you excited about the new Jurassic World? Did you get into any of the Jurassic World movies at all? The ones with Chris
Pratt.
Yeah,
I saw one of them.
Yeah, the first one.
I saw the first one. Yeah, because why not?
The one with the poorly designed balls, hamster ball things.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh, neat.
I can't see how this will go wrong.
What? Do you think dinosaurs are going to swat those all over the place?
No, they're not rolling. They can't roll. The new Jurassic World, they're bringing back a lot of the old cast to be in the new movie, or have. Speaking of, that's another one of those. Is it really an evolution movie, or is it basically going back and trying to control evolution, which we cannot do? The cautionary tale is Jurassic Park.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. Well...
Did you like Jurassic Park, the book, or did you read the book?
I read the book.
Yeah.
I read the book before I saw the movie.
Right.
And I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concept you didn't say, oh yeah, whatever, this is
just a reworking of the Andromeda Strain but with dinosaurs,
right?
All Michael Crichton's books are just a rework of the Andromeda Strain.
They're formulaic, right?
They're formulaic. Like Sphere is like, it's Andromeda Strain, except for it's a spaceship. Congo is Andromeda Strain with gorillas.
I actually like Congo. I don't know why.
I don't really remember. A lot of these came out in the 90s when I was a smartass. Remember that?
Yeah, oh, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I was a smartass.
And an entertaining smartass. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I just sort of got a blanket opinion on Michael Crichton as being a kind of a one-trick pony.
Robin Cook is another one of those kind of like...
Yeah.
Oh, what was the name of her? It wasn't Brain. It was the one that was a movie.
Coma.
Yeah, Coma. That was the movie, right? And she was kind of a one-trick pony with medical fiction.
Yeah, medical fiction. Yeah. But you know what? When you're actually a doctor as your real job, and if your fiction is formulaic, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it means you're doing your doctor job well.
That makes sense.
Popular fiction is fine,
and it serves a purpose. Right? I can kind of think of it as comfort food. I mean, you want to go to see the adventure in the movie theater. Yeah. And that's definitely what this Jurassic Park, I think it's Dominion, is definitely going to be that. Yeah. It's definitely, it's just like action. And older Laura Dern.
Laura Dern's got one of the best lines in all movies.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
It was in Blue Velvet.
Okay. Why be shy about it?
Where she says to the, Kyle MacLachlan guy, like, I don't know if you're a detective or a pervert. I was like, that sure sums up the movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the synopsis right there.
That should be the quote in my email signature. I don't know if you're a detective or a pervert. See how much business I generate.
Yeah, let's see that. Yeah. That should be your tag for robot.
For the partly robot
industries.
My partly robot empire.
Yeah. Ooh. What I wanted to do is go back to Devo. Right?
Devo, yeah, let's go back to Devo.
And I wanted to go back to Devo because that kind of is a weird transition into video games.
But I can transition it back to Goldblum.
How so?
Because Mark Mothersbaugh did the soundtrack to Life Aquatic.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with Jeff Goldblum in it. Which actually the end credits sequence of Life Aquatic has a callback to Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's a wonderful movie. Yeah. Buckaroo Banzai.
Also Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
I'm just admitting that I'd probably watch any movie with Jeff Goldblum in it.
Yeah.
So
I only watch movies that have watermelons and vices.
That's a really subtle metaphor for the trouble in Palestine.
Is that what it is? No,
I doubt it.
Here's the straight dope on the watermelon and a vice. Is they early on in the filming, they didn't have an idea of it, how this thing was going to come together and what it actually was. They saw this amazing story, but they didn't quite understand how it was going to be put together. But I mean, the author did, and the director did. But no one else did. There are interviews of these actors and they go, we read the script and we had no idea what the hell it was. So early on, since they didn't know what was going on, the producers didn't know what was going on. So they would send people in to watch the dailies, and things got quiet at one point, and they were getting handfuls of notes, and then they stopped getting those notes. They filmed the watermelon and a vice scene intentionally to see if they were paying attention. And then something like that is like, what the hell does it mean, right?
Yeah.
That passed, so they knew that from that point forward, they could do whatever the hell they wanted with the movie and not worry about it. So that's the story behind the watermelon and a vice in Buckaroo Banzai. So I got stories.
Yeah.
You also say that Life Aquatic, Mark Mothersbaugh also did the music for that. Here is his connection to video games. There's a brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a brand new game out that is for the PlayStation 5, Ratchet and Clank. I don't know if you ever played any of those games on the PlayStation or PlayStation 2. Ratchet and Clank is a franchise from Insomniac Entertainment, and This is the first time they're on the next gen system, and it looks amazing. And it's called Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Guess who does a lot of the theme music? It's mostly Mark Mothersbaugh.
Nice.
Yeah. In the trailer for that is the song from Are We Not Men, We Are Devo, Uncontrollable Urge. That's the song that's playing. Something like that that's really, it's a classic sounding song, but it really fits into the whole Ratchet and Clank kind of cartoon universe, even though Uncontrollable Urge is probably about sex, is my guess. I don't know. Possibly. Do you have an evolution of video games?
An evolution of video games?
Yeah, like did you have systems and stuff growing up that you played, or did you just, do your own thing, do your drawing, do your stuff?
My brother was really the video game guy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see, we got the 2600 back. Back when that was the thing.
Right.
And the thing about the 2600 is that the joysticks would wear out real fast.
There was an Activision decathlon game where you had to
and then the little rubber thing comes off.
It just come right off.
And then just whatever, there would be a certain point where like the buttons wouldn't work so well. Or the button, one button.
Right, the button.
The button, It's like even to this day, if a game's got more than one button, I have to think about it for a while.
And now they've got bumpers, triggers. There's even little thumbsticks have their own buttons too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of too much. I mean, too much for me, but
it takes some getting used to. I went from we're starting arcade pinball. We go to Atari 2600, then we go to Commodore 64, which I love my Commodore 64, but mostly for games. NES, then the Sega Master System. Then the Nintendo Game Boy, then Sega Genesis, then I got a PC. And I pretty much stuck with PC games until the Sega Dreamcast came out.
Yeah, PC games were cool. I like having the whole keyboard to...
Right, and the mouse and keyboard.
The mouse and the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
The WASD. Yeah, to control your up, left, right.
Yeah, because you don't have the joystick, you got the WASD.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Got it.
Also, I got a portable Atari Lynx before I moved out here. But then the next one, 1999, 2000 is when I got my Sega Dreamcast. Then from that point forward, it was all just buy video games.
Oh, Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
That's the one that had Seaman, right?
Right.
I've heard horror stories of Seaman.
Yeah.
Not He-Man, Seaman.
Yeah. No. It's just like, it's pretty much, didn't they have that scene in The Meaning of Life where they had all the fish that looked like various people?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what Seaman was. It was just fish with people faces. It was creepy.
Did they evolve?
Yeah. And they were also narrated by Leonard Nimoy, which I guess was
narrated by Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah. Leonard Nimoy was the narrator for Seaman. Yeah, it was definitely creepy, and you had to talk to them through a microphone.
Right,
there was a little microphone in it.
Yeah, and didn't your Seaman get mad at you if you ignored him too much? Or?
I really think we're using the word Seaman too much.
Seaman. What if there's more than one Seaman?
Seamen.
Oh. You said it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I set you up, but you said
tricked
it.
Me. Yeah,
I tricked you. Sorry, that was a 7th grade joke.
No, but it was great. I got my Sega Dreamcast, and that was one of the first systems that had dial-up. I mean, I think I mentioned this with Kenny's episode. It was cool to be able to play games with people online. I remember playing this game, Alien Front online, and there was this dude who would, every time he killed someone, you'd be on, teams of, I think it was like 3 versus 3. And whenever someone in that, instance got a kill, this guy named Bort would yell his name out. Bort! I'm just like, shut up, dude. Just shut up with the Bort.
Bort.
Yeah. And it was like you'd communicate through that same microphone that you'd use for Seaman.
Wow.
Yeah. Interesting.
Weird.
That began my annoyance of people online. Was like that.
It's weird. I'm thinking about Prodigy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You remember Prodigy? AOL, but not.
Oh, yeah. Prodigy, right.
Yeah, because that was some dial-up internet doodad that I did at one point. CompuServe.
CompuServe.
Yeah, and then you'd go on and you could type at people. I really liked typing at people.
Yeah. What you typing at me?
I was like, hey, let's type at people. And then they'd be like, and then they'd make fun of me for not knowing the bands.
Right.
Like, what do you mean you never heard the Pixies? And I'm like,
want a cyber?
Want a cyber? Hey, I'm never going to meet you in real life, right?
I'm a little bit embarrassed by this.
Yeah.
A little bit. I met someone online. I met this person through AOL. And we started talking back and forth, and everything seemed cool. And she was in New York. I had relatives that lived in New York. I was going through my phase where I'm trying to figure shit out. I don't know what the hell I want. I'm in my 20s, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I decided I'm just going to take a trip to New York. I tried to hook up a little meet. Because, we sent each other things, right?
Yeah,
she sent me a shirt, which I have on in one of my pictures. And then I sent her some sort of a architecture thing. She was supposed to meet me, but that never happened, right?
Yeah.
Because it's scary.
Because it's weird. And I know I'm going to derail your story, but
right.
The truth is I really should have known about the Pixies.
Well, they're. I mean,
I mean, I was like,
you got into them afterwards.
Oh yeah,
so,
it's fine. I just was a slow learner. Even though, like, in my dorm room in college, in the drawer, one of the little built-in drawers, somebody wrote, "The Smiths, the greatest band ever." Well, I didn't know about the Smiths, and then, well, because I was just
happy. The Smiths.
What? I was brave enough to buy the Labyrinth soundtrack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know music. I didn't really. I was reading the comic books.
David Bowie stuff in there.
David Bowie. Yeah. I remember going to a record store. Like, and that's a guy who evolved. David Bowie? Yeah. I mean, well, he went through a lot of changes.
Right. I mean, as far as
he turned to face the strange.
Yeah. I mean, I think his music basically when you talk about music evolving, I think it's great to have a style, but if you're trying different things and your music is always evolving, your art is always evolving in some way. And even up until his death, David Bowie's music changed,
Yeah.
Dark Star is dramatically different than anything else that he did before that. So, it's, you didn't know a lot about David Bowie?
Well, I knew a little bit about David Bowie. I would say, like, this goes on to my, like, sort of just being, I'm not sure if I should try things, but seeing, like, this stuff in the music store and thinking, that David Bowie guy looks cool.
Yeah.
But also the androgynous stuff in some of the album covers. That made me go, like, are they going to look at me weird if I buy this? And then, like, it took me a long time to get up the courage to be like, well, I like Labyrinth. I'll buy that soundtrack.
Yeah.
I didn't. And now I'm like, you know what, whatever. I will sing Let's Dance at every karaoke night I can get to.
Yeah.
So, or other David Bowie songs. I don't care.
If I go to a karaoke bar with you, the first song I'm singing is You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's an excellent one to sing. I'm going to definitely move it down.
You got to move it down. And you don't think you can hit the high notes like Carole King?
No, there's no way. Yeah. No way. Yeah, I didn't even think about music evolving. But that's musical artists.
They do. Either that or they stay the same.
I mean, and there's something to be said for consistency, but I mean, like Radiohead. My gosh, Radiohead from the beginning to even the last album, dramatically different, very unique, very, all over the map. It's like, how much of this is music and how much is noise, and does it matter? Do you still listen to music at all, or are you kind of like, you don't buy CDs anymore? Or you just listen to Spotify? Or
I don't listen to Spotify. Yeah. I like prefer having a CD. I'm one of those weird people, but I don't.
Check out those milk crates. Yeah, those are the Ben Check's CD
That's good.
collection.
Yeah, no,
that's insane.
Yeah, you got a good collection. I don't buy a CD very often.
Special occasions, I think.
I think about it sometimes like, oh, I should go to that music store and buy a CD. And then I'd be like, but I don't know which one. And then...
Well, here's the other thing, too. Nowadays, all this stuff, you can do a lot of releasing of stuff online.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of really talented artists online, but there also is a really lot of garbage to sort through, too.
Yeah, and you know what? I like looking at the liner notes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You like having the thing
I like having the thing in my hand.
Yeah.
I think that's the main reason why I'm like, I don't want to do Spotify.
Right.
I don't
have any physical
stuff. I need a physical thing to like, I'll just keep listening to my old CDs from 20 years ago. Throw a new one in there every once in a while. Because people sneak onto my radar and then I go, oh.
I don't remember Foreigner.
Like, Foreigner? Wait a minute.
Wait a second. What's the last new thing you put in your rotation?
The last new thing?
Well, I mean, like the newest. You know, like, I mean, like, oh.
Okay, okay. Easy. David Byrne's American Utopia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, but that's like somebody that I know about already and follow. Right. And then, like, another artist that I kind of like, is super indie, Eliza Rickman.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you know her, but
no, never heard of it.
You should hang out. No, I don't know. Like, I'll introduce you. You hang out, and you're like, no, I don't. Yeah, like I've met her in person a couple times because she plays at shows in
Portland.
Yeah, she played it in Portland a few times, and I'm not good at describing music, but she's somebody that I found out because of hearing a weird radio show. You know, it was maybe like a community college radio station, and they played one of her songs, and it was sort of about Napoleon. But it was played on a toy piano. It was like this, and she kind of has this sort of like Disney princess kind of voice. So it was like this whole.
That's interesting.
This whole weird combination of all these little elements that I'm like, that just made me like, ooh, that's neat. That's neat. That's neat. Yeah. And so
that's interesting that you mentioned, you know, that band Self that I mentioned before. They did an album entirely on toy instruments. You listen to a song and it sounds like a song. You know, like the things you could get as a child, like even back in the 70s, that like recording samples and things, but like little, like, you know, like symphonic drums or whatever and things like that. Yeah. But it's interesting.
Oh
like
my gosh.
Toy piano.
There is this little comedy nerd duo from Portland. The Double Clicks is their name.
Okay.
And they have some fun nerdy songs.
Right.
And at least one of them involves it's written to be played on cat keyboard. So
okay, explain.
Like a toy keyboard in the shape of a cat, and all the notes are different meows.
Okay.
Meow, meow,
there we go.
Yeah. So I don't know. Check out the Double Clicks.
Yeah.
If you want to see the evolution of nerd music.
You know what? If you trace nerd music back, what do you think the first nerd music?
Oh man,
because you could, yeah. I mean, who's the guy who did the periodic
the Monster
table?
Mash?
Maybe. Who's that guy who did the periodic table of elements song?
Oh gosh, that one's okay. So that is a serious.
Tom Lehrer.
What defines nerd music? Actually,
Weird Al.
Weird Al.
I mean,
Weird Al defines nerd.
No, seriously.
That's like he's the Beethoven of nerd music.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you had all these other nerd music type songs, right? Like you had the Dr. Demento show, which was on some radio stations, and it had all these funny and odd and weird kind of nerdy songs that talking about all sorts of stuff.
Fish heads.
But on fish heads, right. Eat them up. Yum. I hated that song. I'm sorry. That's
the worst thing Bill Mummy ever did.
Ugh. Fish heads.
Second worst thing, Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Third worst thing, Babylon 5.
Oh.
I don't know.
I thought you were going to say Lost in Space, the motion picture.
Oh wait, was he in that?
Yeah, he was in that.
He was
as a grown adult. Yeah.
Maybe that was that. Maybe I don't know. The fish heads was annoying on purpose. It was designed to creep people out.
Exactly.
We get it.
Roly poly fish heads.
Yeah.
Like all those songs on the Dr. Demento show, they were individual things, right?
Yeah.
And the person who took it to that next level was Weird Al.
Weird Al, yeah.
And I don't know who else makes those types of comedy, songs, because the master of it is Weird Al.
Weird Al, you know what? You know why he's weird? Because he got his musical training in polka.
Well, his father was a
polka guy, and then he was the weird kid. He was like, yeah, you can play polka, but he's weird.
Yeah, accordion.
He's the accordion, yeah.
Speaking of, are you familiar with, I said foreigner.
A foreigner, yeah.
Right. Are you familiar with the song Double Vision?
I should be.
Anyway, there's a part in that song that is got an accordion in it, and I thought it would be a fun little lie to tell people that that's actually Weird Al. So I would tell people, oh, you know what that is? They had Weird Al play. He was playing
Weird
some
Al
serious, studio musician. He kind of went in there with with Foreigner.
His session days, yeah.
Maybe we should get back to evolution.
Oh man, okay.
We were talking about Dreamcast. I think you were talking about buttons earlier.
Yeah.
And how difficult it was. And I remember a story about when I got my first Sega Dreamcast. It was a long time I'd been playing computer games, mostly like turn-based strategy kind of things, like Command and Conquer or things like that weren't really intensive as far as 3 dimensions, right?
Yeah.
And I went over to someone's house before I went on a job that I was going to live in California for a little while. Mm-hmm. I went over to their house, and their son was playing Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. And I could not understand what was going on. It was like Sonic was running and the camera was switching, and then there was a big killer whale knocking a bridge out from back of him. I was like, how the hell do you know what you're doing? I have no idea what's going on here. And then I picked up games again, and that's where it started all over. And I got a little too into games, I think, but now I'm back down to just one system.
It happens.
Yeah. You get obsessed with things. Do you still collect stuff, or I think I'm a little bit over collecting stuff. I've kept some of the collections that are close to me and my history and things, but generally it's like
I like stuff. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of things that I like.
Right.
But I also feel like I allow myself to let go of things. I do have a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to have more books.
Yeah.
And there are some movies that I own,
right?
Because I feel like
these are the ones that I should own.
I feel like there are some movies that I will want to watch that I can't rely on the streaming platforms to have when I want to watch them.
Yeah,
because
some of them are too rare. Some of them you have like your
like Jim Jarmusch movies. I'm like, yeah, sure. Sometimes a bunch of them are on Netflix, but sometimes they're not.
Yeah,
because and when I want to watch Ghost Dog, I want to watch Ghost Dog.
Right. Yeah. I gotta see that, is what you say.
I gotta see that.
Don Knotts, right?
Don Knotts? No, that's the Ghost of Mr. Chicken. Ghost Dog's Forrest Whitaker, but similar kind of. Not similar, really.
Not similar.
No. Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai.
Yeah,
but Ghost of Mr. Chicken has this great thing. There's this, the Don Knotts character's name's Gunther.
Uh-huh.
And just throughout the movie, something will happen, and there'll be somebody off screen who says, "Attaboy, Gunther," over and over. It's like it's this recurring gag in the movie, and it's so stupid. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just spoiled it for you.
To me, if one plot point ruins the movie, it's not worth watching.
That's true. I mean, it won't ruin.
And even two. I mean, it's just like, or a series or a television show or anything like that. If I accidentally run across something or whatever, well, then that's my fault.
And I would say, like, speaking of evolution, the Ghost of Mr. Chicken is the evolutionary precursor to Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So how do you say? Oh, is that why is that? Because it's a.
if you watch The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, you'd be like, oh, this is a Scooby-Doo plot. The only thing it doesn't have is a talking dog and some hippie kids. But,
right, and Velma.
Velma. Yeah, but it'll surprise you.
Okay.
There's a little challenging of gender roles in there.
Right.
For its time.
For its time, yeah.
I mean, basically because, if Don Knotts is your leading man, you need a strong woman in there.
Right. What are you saying about Don Knotts?
I'm saying everybody loves Mr. Furley.
Yes, everybody loves Mr. Furley. And typically that's the way we end our show, but what I wanted to talk about also, and I don't know if you're not into the game culture or as much as I am. I don't think.
I'm not. You know what? It's funny because I have to sort of be aware of some of it.
Right.
I will tell you a thing. A couple of years ago, a student that I worked with told me, he said, you got to play Fortnite, but don't play Fortnite.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It was interesting. This is an interesting kid who was like so into the lore of Fortnite, the gameplay of it, like he would just get creamed all the time, but he wanted to know what it was about, You got
to buy seasons, and adds different things, and it's got different crossovers, and you can buy all sorts of skins, like, specific things.
And there's this like giant cube in the sky named Kevin.
Right. There was the one where they just basically wiped out the universe, stopped.
Yeah, this kid was telling me all kinds of stuff, and I was like,
it was pretty crazy.
I was like, and it was just sort of like, wow, you read up on the game, but I think you don't exactly play it.
Right.
But
that's
one way to enjoy it, right?
Right. I don't 100% understand streaming. I kind of get it that it's a way to connect with an audience. I would much rather play a game than stream a game. But, a lot of people like to watch people playing games. And that's, I guess that's kind of like people watching sports, right? Is that sort of the same thing?
I think it's something, it's tapping into a similar thing.
Yeah.
I believe. Like, yeah. I mean, I have trouble watching sports, because, you got to follow the ball around, and I get distracted. When you're actually live in like an arena, it's kind of cool because, there's always something to look at or,
Right. There are other things.
There's other things going on.
Right.
And, you got the guy throwing peanuts at you or whatever.
Right.
Do they still have the peanut guy? He's like, get your peanuts.
Did you see there was a this is kind of gonna date the program, but did you see the Arizona Diamondbacks guy at the baseball game that recently there was footage of him carrying his baby, his daughter, and catching the ball in the hand he was carrying his daughter with and holding a beer and catching the ball and cradling her like she was falling down.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Well, you know what Adam said about that? He said, what you got to do in those situations is catch the ball with your beer, because everyone loves watching a beer explode. Everyone loves watching the beer,
especially if it could get on a baby.
Yes.
Jeez. It seems like there's just such a potential parenting fail.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too.
In every bit of that scenario.
Yeah, it was on, and it was on the big jumbotron. It's on every media, and it's like, what would have happened had he dropped her? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just like, Jesus, that guy would have been.
Yeah.
I am. But, and even now, people are saying, oh, it's child abuse. Whatever.
I don't know. I don't really know. I think, like, it's the moment you got the one thing in one hand, you got this thing, and there's a projectile coming at you.
Right. What do you do?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. What do you do?
He didn't put the baby up in the air to catch the ball.
No, yeah, or what? Put the baby in front of yourself to shield you from the impact.
Right,
no, that would be bad.
Right.
That would be bad. So, I mean, I feel like in this thing, it's probably just a lot of reflexive stuff came in.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's probably just like, ball. Oh, here's the baby. I got the beer.
Like, yeah, and he also He had the body type where I think there was some.
He had a natural shelf.
Yeah, there was some clinging action going on with the baby, so it didn't slide too far.
And it's probably a little damp, a little sweaty.
Probably
adding some friction there.
Yeah,
to in the cotton weave of the t-shirt.
I don't know where we were going. Where were we going? See, let's wrap this up. I was going to tell you that, you like things.
Oh, yeah.
And,
right.
And you say, oh, look at my collection of these books or whatever.
Yeah.
And now look at my collection of these licenses. Because everything is licensed and you download the version. It's like, software license. You can't have a collection of software licenses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can still buy those things in the store and like collector's editions and things like that.
What about my collection of power tools?
That's a good collection.
Is it really? I don't know if it's a collection or is it, what's the right word? Arsenal?
An arsenal. only in the zombie apocalypse is it an arsenal. I
would say I've been equipping my shap.
Yeah. Have you been doing some lathe work?
I don't have a lathe yet, but no.
I think the next PlayStation that I get is just going to be. I don't need a disc. I don't want a disc. I mean, I don't have I don't have an 8K television. How many Ks are there?
How many Ks are there? And like, how fine is the resolution of your eyeball?
But there are people who say, they want this level of clearness, and that's fine.
I know one of those people. I think my brother-in-law Josh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a
tech nerd.
He's a tech. He'll get every device.
Yeah. It probably has a new Xbox, and a new PlayStation 5 already.
Probably.
He's
one of those guys. Yeah. I mean, he's got a VR rig.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. That's and that's
got an OLED TV.
Do you know what? Kind of to go back to evolution. Do you think that's where the evolution of video games is going? Do you think it's going to VR, or do you think it's not?
I think there will be several species of video games or genera. I don't know. What are the words?
Or phylum.
Phylum.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some sort of a.
There's going to be, because I think in one, there's the phone games, and I think there's always going to be the phone games.
Right.
Because
as long as we have phones.
Yeah. Right. That's, but if
there's going to be a portable thing.
If the Pfizer chip connects our brain directly to the 5G, we won't need phones anymore. But
right.
That's a different evolution.
Right. But I mean, as far as the next video game step. VR, I do think that's something a lot of people are excited about. Yeah.
And I also think it's something that makes some people nauseous.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people? Have you tried the VR thing?
I've tried it a little bit.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's a little too much.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, like, for me, I like having the delineated, experience of it's on the screen.
Right.
I like the idea of VR.
Right.
Like I read Neuromancer.
Uh-huh.
But, that was written on a typewriter. So so what did William Gibson know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like for me, being aware of the medium is part of the experience.
Right.
And where VR seems to be headed to is to make you unaware of the medium, like to get you so immersed in it that you feel like it's it's
real life, right?
Which
then we're in the Matrix. I mean, I've played some of those virtual reality games that are fun. Like there's one.
Yeah.
I played one in Chicago, and when I go to Chicago this time, my friend Corey is going to take me, I think, to one of these ones that it's a company that they have. It's a mall. And it's one of those dead malls where the JCPenney's or whatever is cleared out.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of space in it. So they've got basically, all the poles and things padded and mapped out So in the game, if you ever get close to things or
it's
whatever,
an object in the game,
right? But it's not. It's either an object in the game, or it will show you a little outline. So the thing is, there are multiple levels in this game too, and it's like a first-person shooter where you're going around like laser tag, right? But it's like, you can change your weapons, you can do all sorts of things like that, and you can get on zip lines. So it tracks. Yeah, it's so
zip line.
In the game, and what it does is it basically keeps track of your position, but your position is different than actually in the physical, right? So it keeps track of all those things, and if you ever get within a distance of some person, it gives you a little warning and shows you a little circle around. It just looks like an outline in a circle. But it's like, okay, so you got to get around that person. But it's so cool. But after playing an hour of it, it's just like, I need a break. It's like, it's like your brain's not used to that type of input, yet. I don't know if people are going to really warm up to that or not. I mean, home rigs are a thing, and they're getting big, but I don't know if that's the next thing. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be like the luxury version. Like, it'll be though.
There's got to be some sort of hybrid of physical and light oriented. Like something where it's a hybrid, but it's not in virtual reality. It's a physical reality, and light and things manifest themselves in such a way that you can interact with them. I think that will be a more successful sort of step. I mean, I don't want to be stuck in a computer. I mean, I'm already stuck behind a computer for work. But anyway, one last thing before we go. Evolution in video games. I think we talked about this a little bit. You like The Sims. You played The Sims.
I played The Sims a few, I've dabbled in The Sims.
In Simmery.
Yeah.
And Simitude.
I minored in Simlish.
Yeah. Did you ever play Spore?
Spore? No.
That was an evolution sort of game where you created your own life form.
I remember hearing about Spore and thinking that was neat, and then I think I was busy. I think that's like my big problem is
with games.
With games is that I have to find the sweet spot between my free time,
right,
and giving up my free time.
What I view my free time, it's like there's stuff I need to do, right? Day-to-day work with my free time, but there's also a relaxation that needs to occur for me to be all ready to go when I go back to work. So that is part of, if I work that into my my equation, if it's something I'm doing for enjoyment or relaxation, well, it's beneficial. And people who say, "Oh, I'm wasting my time playing video games," it's like, well, you're not the one who's getting, the release or the,
Yeah, and I think really that's what it is for me is that it's better for me if the game has, if a session of the game comes to an ending, you know.
Right.
And I think that's probably the problem, that some games are, sort of designed to tease that sense of closure.
Right.
Like, it's like, oh, you'll get closure if you do this one thing. It's like, oh, well, you actually need to do the next thing. And so it's...
Those are generally like the sandbox games, right?
Yeah, like the sandbox. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
And then, so it's like, or games that, like... will go on for a long time, like that, the online crazy pay to win
mean
games,
like World of Warcraft and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, I
mean, those build stories into them, and then you kind of go into it.
Yeah,
but it's like once you played through that, there's still grinding that needs to occur to get all the stuff you need.
And it's like
it's kind of a never-ending cycle.
It can get that way,
right?
So I think like certain like. What you're describing as the sandbox games, where it's kind of open-ended and you can make your thing and design it.
And explore.
I think with those, I would probably be pretty much okay with like, well, I'm going to set a timer and this is how long I'm going to do this. Right. And then I'm going to remember to do my laundry.
Right.
I think that would be a workable scenario.
That's a good solution to losing time to those.
I mean, and it isn't necessarily losing time. There is that it can be a way to recharge. Definitely, like you're letting your brain rest in some areas, and then you're like solving this problem and rewarding, that part of your brain that needs to solve problems. I mean, I see as games like, providing that stimulus, providing that function for people, like, because sometimes in our real life, you don't always get like closure.
Right.
Because, you work on this thing and then, it's still going to be there tomorrow, and you still got to tie up loose ends later on.
Yeah. But this is something that is, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But achievements. There are things in games that are called achievements, and they are beyond whatever the game is. So it's like, you do this kind of thing X number of times, or so you get little trophies for each one of these things. And Chris hates that idea of trophies and achievements. And I think it is a way for me to get some sort of closure beyond the story.
Yeah.
So if I really enjoy this game, I want to get all the trophies for it and unlock everything. And just so it's like, I really enjoyed this game, and here's kind of the proof. But it's also a way to close the chapter.
Right. Or like if there's like a chapter to the game too.
Right. I mean, the story itself. But I mean, if I love the story and I like the game mechanics and I want to continue playing, I can continue playing it if I unlock all those things.
Yeah.
But after that's done, I stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't want to play the same game forever, with some exceptions. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another evolution game is Pokemon.
Yeah. They evolve.
Yes, they do. Catch them all.
Yep. You know what? There's also like a card game version.
Big money is card collections and
cards.
Kids.
The kids love the cards. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I work with kids, and they love to talk to me about their Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And I have to pretend to understand.
It's like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Bulbasaur. Yeah,
right.
Bulbasaur. Yeah. So
that's
yeah, Team Rocket. Go Team Rocket. Oh, wait, are they the bad guys? I don't know. Gosh. I saw Detective Pikachu. That was a weird movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs, I'm going to give it a waxing gibbous.
Okay.
If we're going to use a moon
analogy.
No,
that's great.
Because it was like...
I absolutely love waxing gibbous.
I was like...
That's fabulous.
I was like, it wasn't a full moon.
Yeah.
But it was... Oh, it was
almost.
It was interesting. It turns out he was the guy the whole time. Spoiler alert. Yeah, I was like...
That sounds a lot.
My brother told me, like, have you seen Tenet? And I was like, no. And he's like, well, it turns out it was the guy the whole time. I was like,
okay.
And that tells me absolutely nothing, but I believe you.
I actually like Tenet. That was a fun movie.
But I don't know. I don't know. I can't get past Inception. I'm just done.
Yeah. But anyway, all right. Well, on that note, do you have anything to add?
Well, right or wrong, everybody loves Mr. Furley.
Everybody does love Mr. Furley.
Yeah.
Are you having anything more?
No, I was just going to try to figure out how to say everybody loves Mr. Furley again.
Okay. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for joining us on the Too Vague Podcast. My name is Ben.
My name's Andrew.
And everyone loves Mr. Furley.
Bye.